Greg Hackett here, ladies and gentlemen. Vergil Ortiz, Michael Mckinson. Before we get into it, I would like to give a big shout out to my sponsors, Neighborhood Olympian. Please check them out on Instagram. And also, we do have some Greg Hackett merch there, as well as Neighborhood Olympian apparel. I think you'll like it. Again, back to Vergil Ortiz, Michael Mckinson. Good fight, an awkward fight, but a good fight. I'm not gonna say impressed with Michael Mckinson, but I like what he brought to the table. He tried to establish that he was there to fight, and I mean I think he did do that, but quickly got overwhelmed by Vergil Ortiz. Vergil Ortiz, I felt like was just too strong, too big, and applying good pressure. At the same time, Michael Mckinson, he from the southpaw angle tried to box a little bit. Charging in with some left hands and some hooks, stuff like that. But wasn't too successful, but as far as irritating Vergil Ortiz, he did do that. You could tell he got under Vergil's skin a little bit. And Vergil even admitted to not listening to his team for a few rounds, because he was focused on trying to knock the guy out, which could be understood. If you understand being in the ring sometimes, things get a little irritating in there, get a little awkward in there, and you want to kind of get your guy out of there because you're tired of the experience. But overall, it made for an entertaining fight. Felt like Vergil Ortiz, again, was a little thrown off by, the southpaw angle, also with the style of Michael Mckinson, which was, he was boxing a little bit, getting away from some big shots, and he was landing some little sneaky little shots, but nothing too crazy to hurt Vergil, but just enough to get under his skin. Vergil, I felt like when he settled down, he started throwing them uppercuts to the body, uppercuts to the head. When Michael Mckinson would drop low, he found his success. Of course, he ended up hurting Michael Mckinson with a liver shot, 2 of them, I believe. And the kid, he couldn't take it anymore. They said he suffered some type of knee injury or ankle injury in the, the 8th round or something like that. Fight got stopped in the 9th round. Real good fight. Definitely a bright future for Vergil Ortiz, but I think he needs to definitely focus on the game plan, definitely listen to his team, because they wasn't telling him anything wrong. He was just excited. It was a big moment for him. He was headlining the card, in his hometown, Texas, or state. I don't know if exactly it was in his hometown, but I know he definitely from Texas. So, there was a lot of people there in support of him. And like I said, it was a big moment. A lot of guys in a situation like that, they do lose their minds and have to get brought back down to earth. Michael Mckinson was actually, I would say, a great opponent for Vergil Ortiz with the undefeated record and, his style. Because he had to work to get that win. There wasn't a win that was given to him. So I definitely give it to Vergil Ortiz, for that fight right there. He did some good things in that fight. He showed that he's definitely dangerous. I would say anybody getting in there with him, you got to be ready at all times, because he's applying pressure the entire time. He's not letting up off of you. You're going to have to be a special guy to keep him up off of you. And I think there's a few out there, but, we'll see what happens if they can make those fights happen. Michael Mckinson, I believe, also has a bright future, as an opponent. I don't think he is going to, win a world title, and that's tough to say about a guy because I know that's the goal, but I don't think he's going to win the world title, but I think he'll be, one of those guys you call just to see, what we have here. He's definitely a test, a big test. He came in shape, he came ready to fight. He just wasn't successful with, I believe he started off a little too early. He went at Vergil, engaged in a war with him too early. The fight popped off in the very first round. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving, a little bit of holding, a little bit of headbutting going on, but a great fight overall. I like what I saw out of Vergil Ortiz. Real high guard with his hands, especially that right hand. He keep that right hand pasted to the side of his head, and working that left hand, setting up his shots. But I felt like he headhunted a little bit too much last night. But You know what I mean? He got the job done. I think if he's in there with anybody and he starts off at the body, I think he'll have great success in the future. But we'll see what happens. I definitely want to see both of the fighters back in the ring. I definitely would like to see Vergil Ortiz get back in there pretty soon. I heard there's some rumors about it's supposed to be like a mandatory for Bud Crawford's title. We'll see what happens with that because Bud Crawford is still supposed to be in negotiations with Earl Spence. But I'm Greg Hackett again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Check me out on Instagram, Greg Hackett 86. Check me out on Facebook, Greg Hackett. Twitter, Greg Hackett. Thank you.